Please say something.
What's up? Welcome back to the Grady podcast, talking about all things Grady.
Present and past.
And future.
We don't really get into Grady future that much because we don't.
Where will Grady be in 10 years?
We don't even talk to Grady present. So Grady past is.
We
Grady
sent him
present.
a couple messages.
What have you heard from Grady? LOL.
Yeah, and that he might be back in May.
Oh yeah, we might have We might. Oh no, yeah, you're coming up. Yeah. If Grady comes back in May in his first Navy leave, I imagine. Those of you who followed us in the Shout Engine days will remember Grady, founding member of the Throwing from the One podcast, of which this is episode 29. We're almost a year old, Jeremy. Last February.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Whack.
Almost a year. I mean, and honestly, we're going to hit, I think it's going to be our 31st episode. It's either I think it's our 31st episode. Will be a year old, maybe 32nd, which given
right after the Super Bowl again.
There was no possibility of podcasts. Well, I mean, we could have done it, but it would have been very hard this summer, which was legitimately 4 months, basically. So we're only 4 episodes behind a 1 per week pace for the entire time we've been doing it this year, which honestly, in the amount of days that I've been late posting this podcast and editing it and losing footage and everything, I don't know. I'm happy with that at the 1 year mark.
Good.
Yeah.
Thumbs up, dude.
Just to call attention to the fact that it's taken us a year to hit 30 episodes.
29.
We haven't even hit it yet. Yeah, so the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl again. And everyone is thrilled. Right?
Totally.
I'm thrilled. I can't even get that hyped about it, dude. I mean, I am. The game we're going to talk about, the AFC Championship game, which is we're doing it second? I feel like we should finish. I wanted to finish with that.
I don't care.
All right, I'm changing the order. We're finishing up today with the AFC Championship, in which many men wanted to see Tom Brady fall.
Yep.
No. So we had a great weekend of championship games. First time in NFL history was it 2 playoff games in the same weekend or both conference championship games?
I think just both conference championship games.
Okay. Well, the first time in NFL history that both conference championship games have been overtime games. Both road teams winning out, the Rams and the Patriots, for what that's worth.
First time we'll have no 1 seeds in a while.
Exactly. That is about the only thing I think it's worth. Although I do think that, I mean, it's still, 2 of the 4 that it was basically all season. So, and they all rotated who was in the top slot at various points throughout the, season in terms of power rankings type stuff. Yeah, so we're not going to spend much time in this episode on the Rams-Patriots preview because I don't want to talk about the Pro Bowl next week much, although we might be late next week. We're thinking about live podcasting, except for not live. We might do episode 30 during the Pro Bowl dodgeball game, skills challenge, maybe the Pro Bowl.
Dodgeball game's only 10 minutes.
Well, during the whole whatever that day is, then All-Star Saturday night. We'll let you know on the Facebook page, which you should like, and like memes on and comment on and all that stuff.
Funny memes.
Obviously, subscribe.
That we definitely make ourselves. Wink.
It's hard to make memes. I can't figure out how to do that, Jeremy.
It's pretty easy, dude. You just Photoshop and boo.
I don't think anyone. You have to be a Photoshop expert, or at least a Microsoft Paint expert.
I'm definitely good enough to do that. I'm pretty good at Photoshop.
I know, dude. Like 10-year-olds make memes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I can make sophisticated, elegant memes.
Well, you don't even repost memes on the Facebook page. What was the last meme you were responsible for on the Throwing from the One Facebook page?
I showed one to you, and then you laughed and said, "Send it to me. I'm gonna repost that."
I didn't repost it. I feel weird.
Well,
like
that's your fault.
You're right. I don't want to talk about memes this much, and the Facebook page, I also don't want to talk about this much. You should like it though. If you haven't, if you use Facebook, you should engage in some way. Be very happy to hear from you, Henry, or preferably someone other than Henry.
No, only Henry.
Or Henry.
Henry fan club page.
If that's what it comes down to, then more Henry. Yeah, I want to go in order of escalating importance / interest to me, more realistically, starting with the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I knew you were going to start
results.
with that first. Insulting.
Okay, so
this is a man's entire body of work.
You know what? That's fair. DeMarcus Cousins is back. He's dunking on people. He's huge. He's fouling people a lot. He's exactly what we thought, right? It's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a wild card, but ultimately a very dangerous, big, scary guy that they added.
Yep.
Okay, do you have anything else on him being back?
He fouled out in 15 minutes in his return.
Precisely, wild card.
14 points in 15 minutes.
And 6 fouls.
That's on a whole game pace. He would have thrown up like 55, Walk.
And 36 fouls. Or whatever. That's good pace. Do you have anything else on Boogie or the Warriors?
No.
Steph fell down on a fast break.
That was funny.
Everyone's happy about that.
And then he airballed the 3. That was also a key component of it.
True. He completed the full, whatever you want to call it.
It was already full. He doubled it.
He made a double gaff, Jeremy. You're right. That's what he did. Okay. Next up on the list, the Celtics have won. I just forgot. 4 straight, 7-3 again. But again, everyone's still playing good, Jeremy. It's
the Sixers destroyed the Rockets last night.
Yeah, I feel like we're pretty much the bottom 3 might shift around, Pacers, Sixers, Celtics, but at this point I feel like that 5 is essentially locked in the East. Although the Nets are playing well, but they're still 4.5 games behind the Celtics, and I don't think there's enough there. I don't buy it. The top 5 teams are all like, the Pacers to me don't seem, their roster doesn't seem as good as they are, but then every time I watch them, there's guys who I like is Boban Marjanovic who I'm thinking of?
Maybe.
I think it's Marjanovic. Like, he can actually score inside. I don't know. But like Miles Turner and Oladipo are legit players, so start with that.
Yep.
Oladipo is a legit player.
Yeah.
For sure. I really like him. But yeah, I think that top 5 is pretty much locked in the East. West, what's going on? Who cares? Warriors, Nugs, Thunder, Blazers. Yeah, I mean, same deal. Oh, the Melo thing. That's funny.
Are the Lakers still in the playoffs?
No. They're a game behind the Jazz now for the 8 seed.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Braun is frustrated, hurt again. What happened?
I just think he's not quite. He was supposed to come back sometime this week.
Oh. I thought there was more news on that front.
Lonzo out 4 to 6 weeks.
I did see
Triple
that.
sad B.
On interesting NBA injury news, Anthony Davis broke his finger or whatever, so he's missing 2 weeks. Which I think, I still love the guy, but you just have to, the injuries thing. It's like for an NBA player, he's getting to be kind of unreliable, and for a guy his size, it's scary.
And he's just wasting away in New Orleans.
Well, yeah. So what happens when he's 32 and he finally gets a huge deal, and then he just starts having knee injuries or whatever instead?
That's how it goes sometimes.
It is how it goes sometimes. It's sad. I love the player. Cool, good NBA stuff. And the baseball this year's class for the Baseball Hall of Fame. Is that a good way to phrase that?
Sure.
Was announced?
Yep.
I'm going to look up the class. Can you name everybody off the top of your head?
I know Mike Messina, Edgar Roy Halladay, and Mariano Rivera.
I mean, that might be all of them, right? Yeah, that's all of them. So Rivera's don't do that. Don't do that, ads. Rivera's the first unanimous one.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy about because
I'm mad because he passed Griffey.
Well, but be mad that Griffey wasn't unanimous, not that Rivera is.
Yeah.
Right? Because like you said before the show, which we need to stop talking about everything we're going to talk about on the show when you get here. But like you said before the show, Griffey, 99.32 it was percent of the vote. He missed 3 ballots, and it's like those 3 guys are either saying, well, whoever, such and such player that I love wasn't unanimous, so I'm not going to vote for him. Or they're saying, well, I'll just vote for him next year. What does it matter if he's unanimous or not? Which in either case, it's like, dude, just like a guy like that, come on, put him in the Hall of Fame. There's something to a first ballot Hall of Famer. Everyone knows it. And then, like, so if there's something to that, there's obviously something to a unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer. And Ken Griffey Jr. is... I sort of missed him. Didn't pay that much attention to baseball and not enough to like watch the Mariners. So like I watched him a little bit, but you know what I'm saying.
He was on the Reds for most of our youth.
Didn't even know that. But like yeah, so I missed Ken Griffey Jr. basically, but I know he was the best player a lot of people ever watched. Baseball player, pure 5 tool. Run out there with grab his socks and his cup and spit a chew or whatever baseball player stuff he actually did. Put him in the Hall of Fame 100%. If he's the best player a generation of people ever saw, then what do you need to wait a year? How many votes do they get? Enough. They get like most people don't use as many as they get, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I know the voters that I've heard speak on it say they only vote for like 3 guys. Like, I voted for 3 guys this year. I voted for 4 guys this year. I would whatever.
Yeah.
Like, vote for 7 guys then. Who cares?
Yeah, I only see like 3 to 5 on all the ballots I saw.
Me too. But still, if it's 3 to 5, then instead of your usual 3, vote for 5 and put Ken Griffey in unanimously. Which they did for Mariano Rivera. So I'm just being bitter about things that are done now. Halladay, I don't want to get into it at all. Really, it's a sad thing, but
he probably would have made it eventually anyway.
Yeah, I think he is like close enough that whatever,
He
sure.
won the Cy Young probably like 3 times.
Yeah, I mean he was.
And he won 1 World Series with the Phillies.
I didn't even know he won one, so yeah, I that's fine. I put him in. I don't care about the Baseball Hall of Fame. I'll put whoever you want in, so that's okay. Mike Messina, maybe I don't know, but
won a lot of championships with he was part of
they all won a lot of championships. Are we putting like?
Well, yeah, but he was the ace of a dynasty. It would be the argument.
Oh, was he actually their ace for most of those?
Yeah.
Oh.
The mid-2000s dynasty.
Oh.
The 2000s Yankees.
Oh. And then the big news for us, Jeremy, which is very exciting. Edgar Martinez made the Hall of Fame.
Finally, his last try. I would have been so the man has an award named after him, and he almost didn't make the Hall of Fame.
What award is named after him?
The Designated Hitter Award.
Is it the Edgar Martinez Award?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. 10th and final year of the ballot, but got 85.4. See, like this, why do we have to wait till the 10th year for Edgar Martinez?
He had like 20% his first year of eligibility.
Which I mean, maybe that's a commentary on the way we slash the BBWA, Baseball Writers of America, look at like the DH.
Oh, it definitely is.
It's partly
it's
that.
DH bias.
I think it's maybe largely that, but I also do think there's an element of kick it down the road, wait till the guy's 10th year, and then just let him in once you don't have a chance. And them saying, well, we're eventually, which, like, I mean, I guess it's fine. I just, do you like it? I don't like it.
No,
I don't feel good about it.
10 times is too many.
It's too many times. Why does the guy have to wait? And also, like, it gets stressful at some point if you're Edgar Martinez. And I know it's like, I cry for the millionaire baseball player, guy who got to play baseball his whole life. But, like, at the same time, you're going to make him sit 10 seats. Like, I'd rather cry at the baseball writers than for him, which is what all right, I don't need to cry about anything. He's in the Hall of Fame. It's good.
It is good. Notably, Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds still came up under 60% of the votes.
I don't, what's the, 75% is the 3/4 is the margin. Okay. Bonds and what, this has to be year 4 or 5 now? What is it?
Probably somewhere between 4 and 6.
Feels right. I mean, I don't know if we've ever done this on the podcast, but it's been done on every like sports show ever, and I mean, yeah, like put them in, right? Are you? Well, I guess we haven't talked about this. What's your take on steroid guys?
I don't know.
I say put them in.
It's tough.
They were all doing it because I say if you're not going to put the big time steroid guys in, you can't put anyone in. Then don't put David Ortiz in.
No one from the 90s.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, but then I'm at least like none of the power hitters, like these big. I mean, don't put David Ortiz in for sure, and I want him in, so I can't stand for that, selfishly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's conflicting because like
everyone's doing it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that argument, but then there's also the argument to like how the historic nature of baseball and how long it dates back, and like how the small number of people who are selected over the overall proportion of people who have played the game. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame.
Well, literally everyone gets into the NBA Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
Like if me and you went to a couple Blazers games a year for a while, we'd have a shot.
Exactly.
But no, okay, so that is a fair point, which I like hesitate to concede because I'm so anti country time lemonade old school baseball argument, but like the fact that it is that like the number of players who have played to players in ratio is so high means that it needs to be selective. Small hall argument, I'm fine with. I just don't think at that point I say like don't put Mike Messina in. Like don't put the guy who just has, or maybe not Mike Messina. What was the like catcher guy that got in a couple years ago that was like just a name basically? Did he play for the Braves or something?
McCann?
No. Older.
Chipper Jones made it last year.
No, older than, I don't know who I'm talking about. I don't know enough about baseball to talk about the history of baseball, which I guess kind of invalidates me in this argument about the historic Baseball Hall of Fame. I just think, dude, Clemens and Bonds were nastiest players in the league. Well, majors.
Yeah.
Nastiest players in the majors type of guys in their career.
Did you know? So I saw this video once from SB Nation, so credit to them. They, over Bonds' career, if he would have never swung the bat, like if the pitchers would have thrown the same balls they threw, but he never would have swung the bat, he still would have had an on-base percentage of over 300. because that's how often he got walked.
Dude, okay, so I don't know as much about Clemens, but with him, it's like, come on. The guy was like unbelievably dominant, steroids or not. It's like,
They once, so I can't remember his team. They were down. The Giants were down like 2, and it was no, they were down 3, and it was bases loaded, 2 outs, and Bonds coming up, and they intentionally walked in a run.
better than a grand slam, or I mean, any ball that he hits is gonna clear the bases / at least put 2 in. So that's what you're making my argument. Thank you. I think he should be in. Clemens, again, I don't know about, but my impression is that Clemens was ridiculous too at his peak.
Yeah, that's true. And Andy has one of the more famous World Series performances.
Well, and that's the other thing is that when
winning
he's
is a real racist.
So
an on TV racist.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. Yeah, it's true, and I mean, there is like, I don't think it's
but
in
the historical nature of baseball. There's lots of racists.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, but then but that's not, that doesn't make it like right to keep going. Like, no, we should stick to like white, old school Midwestern white dudes in the Baseball Hall of Fame or whatever, baseball country time guys. So I think it is like that is valid to have a character consideration and not put guys that weren't good representatives of the game in the hall. Huh?
T.O.
I don't think, no, because the TO thing,
That
it's not
was more
even
just,
about
like, personal
yeah, dude, it's
spite.
just pettiness. It's not even about representing the game. T.O. was, he wasn't, T.O. has never, he's been harmless for the most part his whole career. The most malicious thing he's done is stomp on the Dallas Star.
Yeah.
Really.
I can't think of him really getting in any legal trouble.
No, like all he's done is talk some shit and like do sit-ups in his driveway and be a diva wide receiver. And then throw shots at the Hall of Fame voters, which is all he's done that's kept him out of the Hall of Fame, which that is not valid. Dude, do you like, I mean, everyone does. Everyone's talked about it again, but do you know like T.O. is statistically like, it's like Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, T.O.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the third best wide receiver of all time.
Yeah, dude. And like,
I know.
It's
but he's not.
No, he's not. But he is. But I do think it is like over the course of his career. I don't know that he's outside the top 10.
Yeah.
I bet you can make an argument at least.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, it's easy to forget because he did play a long time, but like the good years of T.O., he was nasty. He was the real deal for sure. In the doing sit-ups in the driveway days.
And like, I don't know. I feel because of the way he bounced around teams more than like most stars.
He was a problem. I mean, Randy bounced around too, though. Same reason.
That's true.
But you really the playing ability.
You
is
only
separate.
really think of Randy Moss as a Patriot or a Viking. Whereas, like, I think of T.O. as a Niner and a Cowboy and an Eagle. I can remember him as a Bengal just because that was absurd.
I think it's your perception because, I do sort of think of him as a Bengal, but I think of him just as a Cowboy and Eagle, and then like Bengal.
But he had arguably the most memorable moments of his career as a Niner.
Yeah, but the play. Like the Randy thing you're thinking about. I mean, he had some
stomping on the Star as a Niner.
The
first popcorn as a Niner.
The first popcorn was a Niner?
Yeah, well, because he started with the Niners.
I didn't know he did that like with the whole career thing.
He signed the football as a Niner.
Stomping on the Star was as a Niner?
Yeah.
I thought it was after he played for the Cowboys.
No, I don't think so.
Oh. All right. Gotta get my TO facts straight for the next podcast so we can.
He signed the football after his touchdown as a Niner.
Sit-ups in the driveway was a eagle?
Eagles.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Friend of the podcast, Alex Wong. In the building.
Just taking a shit.
Should Clemens and Barry
Nice.
Bonds be in the Hall of Fame, Wong?
Yes.
I'm with Wong. Preach. You want to take a break? 26 minutes?
Sure.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and then we're going to wrap up AFC, NFC championship games. A little bit of, like, Super Bowl hype, but we're not going to do the preview. I'm just going to get excited about it, probably. And I'm gonna
not gonna be able to stop yourself.
I'm gonna
Wong.
get mad.
That's gonna creep into like talking about the game. Wong.
This is gonna be a good little a rage roller coaster here, because I'm gonna get real mad and then I'm gonna get real happy and might not get that happy. I'm gonna get mad.
Why would you be mad?
Stay tuned. I'm gonna get mad at the Patriots for making the Super Bowl. No, I'm gonna get
classic Boston fans.
No, I don't want to spoil everything, but I do have some grievances with the weekend, particularly the referees. I want to make fun of McVay and Jared Goff and
let's get some audibles, bruh.
some little nitpicks of the Patriots, because I mean, it's hard to complain about a great win, which it was a great win, obviously, but at the same time, I have some.
That was the highest rated AFC championship game since like 82.
It was an unbelievable game. I mean, what a game for sure. But I think the Patriots could have made it slightly less unbelievable.
Are we going to take the break?
Yeah, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. And we're back from our second break, because we had to take another break because Jeremy was going to be a big baby once we started again. Yeah, so we had to take like a whole nother break, but we're back on Throwing from the One. We're starting NFC championship game, going in chronological order, the order that we watched them in, the order that we experienced the many stages of championship weekend. The Rams-Saints game. Not the way we picked it,
but not really that against the script.
No, and not the way my heart felt it, but also what I should want for the Patriots, I think. No, I mean, it wasn't.
The Patriots are 2-point favorites, but ESPN FPI has the Rams as a 52% chance.
I noticed that, Jeremy, and maybe we should do a study on who does a better job of predicting, Vegas or ESPN FPI. But anyway, again, I don't want to spend that much time on that game this week. Well, we have other stuff to talk about. The Saints and the Saints and the Rams. I mean, I guess I want to reiterate. I think it was pretty clearly the four best teams in the NFL last weekend, which is what it has been the last 5 years. Is it now? Like, it seems like every year now it's the front runners end up in the championship games, and then most years the 1 seeds end up in the Super Bowl. It was like the last 3 or 4 seasons or whatever, wasn't it?
5.
Yeah. So. First, but I also think that given the way the season's played out, and I mean, the Patriots very easily could have ended up as the 1 seed had they not made many of a number of mistakes during the course of the Miami-Pittsburgh debacles. And the Chiefs were tied for the best record in their own. I think that we're looking at the 4 best teams, and the seeds don't really matter that much in this case. We said last week, picking the games, that any result in either game basically wouldn't be surprising. With that being said, I thought the Saints were like the better team overall. I thought the coaching quarterback thing was going to be a bigger advantage than it was ultimately.
I don't know. I mean, they settled and they made mistakes.
The Saints?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I thought it was going to be a bigger advantage than it was. I don't know that it was an advantage.
Not punching that Gurley turnover, not getting a touchdown on either of those first two drives, the first long drive and the Gurley turnover at like the 30. I mean, you can't do that in the NFC Championship.
No, and that's you can't do it in the NFC Championship in your dome, at home. It's
At home in the dome.
at home in the dome, dude.
Dome, sweet dome, dude.
The collapsing, in the process of collapsing dome. And I mean, the Rams weren't ready originally. So that early in the game, I thought it was going to play out, how I thought it was going to play out on the last podcast. I was like, okay, McVay and Goff are still not ready for this stage. The Saints are ultimately the better team. They're going to sling it all around the yard in the dome to whoever and ultimately score enough points that it doesn't matter what the Rams do. And then, they just didn't capitalize. And Jared Goff's like running around the field, throwing his helmet, getting it rebuilt in,
Taping over
3
his
different
ear
times.
holes.
Yeah, like exactly, dude. I mean, they were not ready. They didn't deal with the crowd noise once they got there effectively. I don't know about like adjustments and game planning and stuff like that. I wasn't paying attention that much to that stuff in that game. McVay has some good plays.
Yeah.
Still true. They have good plays.
C.J. Anderson's a beast. Dude, well, fantastic signing. Season-saving signing.
I think they have good plays.
I do too, but I mean, I don't know. I think C.J. Anderson has been rushing for like 130 yards on average a game since he's been there.
I think they have good plays. I feel like this is
So
I feel like
Todd
this is
Gurley is garbage.
No, I just feel like this is James Conner all over again. It's just a guy being plugged into one of the most productive roles for a running back and then being one of the most productive running backs. It's like, yes, he is 40 years old and overweight, so it's surprising, but at the same time, like, how many games has he been there? Like 3 or whatever? 5, 6?
Probably like 7.
Okay, so that it's a bigger sample size than I thought. It's a decent sample size, but at the same time, I look at running back production, like especially like that, like yards in a ball moving offense, and he's fine. He's fine. He's good.
Uh-oh.
Alex Wong.
I retract my statements about Barry Bonds being able to join the Hall of Fame.
Really? What changed your mind?
The fact that I have less shit in my system and that it wasn't urgent. That's the thing. It was too much of an urgent thing, and I said yes to something I didn't mean to say yes to.
Why do you think Barry Bonds doesn't deserve to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Because it was a cheating sack of shit.
But
What about Clemens? Same opinion?
Yes.
is he also a racist?
Yes.
So that's pretty solid no on Clemens.
Yes. As in, yes for a no.
I got you. I've been solidly overruled on the dirty hall for baseball in this one. I don't know. I forget what I was saying about the NFC game. My main takeaways from the game are like relate to the Patriots going forward for the Super Bowl, and also
The leg, dude.
the leg. Oh,
No.
Greg the leg, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the leg.
It was they I guess were impressive kicks, particularly the 70-yarder to be.
Well, and
Wasn't it a 56-yarder?
57.
57,
And
he drilled it,
that
dude.
wasn't a bad. It was a bad snap on that one too, and Hecker
Mhm.
did a good job to get it down in
Yeah.
time.
Um,
And then he babushka'd it.
yeah, I mean, that game was a sloppy boy.
I don't think so. I mean, both teams had their moments.
I think generally it was a pretty, I don't know. I don't think that was a well executed. I mean, both. I think it goes the other way. I think both teams had their moments of non-sloppiness. There was big plays generated most of the effective offense, and it was as much like tipped balls, incomplete passes, penalties as anything else. Which the penalties all weekend and the officiating we don't have as a separate point, but it could be because I felt like the reffing in both games on multiple levels. Obviously the call. We haven't talked about
The
it.
call.
The call is
Will
not
that
the
go down as the call walk in
the
NFL history?
no call. It wasn't a call.
The no call.
One of the worst pass interferences I've ever seen.
The New Orleans paper headline was "Are you reffing kidding me?"
We said the same in not as many words here. More words, different words, actually. But, I mean, dude, again, it was like the worst pass interference I've ever seen. Much less the worst pass interference no call I've ever seen. To have literally a textbook example of a play. Like you could say, a kid could ask you, a 6-year-old, what's pass interference? And you would just say, you're not allowed to hit the receiver before he gets the ball. Any Pee-wee player could call that play. And it was literally like we watched the angle from the stands on the guy's Snapchat earlier or whatever. And it's literally right in between all the refs. Like the two refs are what? Not 10 yards from it each, 7 yards. Like he exploded the guy's face. And I'm not saying you need to be calling targeting because I don't necessarily want the conference championship games called like the regular season. But I mean,
Yeah.
he blew him up, dude. Like, which we don't even, this is another one where I feel like everyone will talk about this plenty. It was ridiculous. The thing to me that is worth mentioning and is also ridiculous is this no statement by the NFL. They're not. I mean, the Saints' reaction is funny too, so I want to talk about that. But
Soft.
yeah, I mean, they're being babies about the whole thing for sure. Because by the way, guys, it was one call. I mean, yeah, it was the worst call maybe I've ever seen. But at the same time, it was one play, and it wasn't even like the Fail Mary you brought up, or like. It's not like one play that like lost you the game right there. Like you just lost, you still had to let them go down and beat you multiple times.
Yeah.
So I don't have any sympathy for Michael Thomas appealing the result of the game. Was it him who wants to replay the final 2 minutes? Who was it?
That was some guy who sued the NFL. He just retweeted the section of the rule book that said the commissioner could overrule it, basically.
Oh, my God. So, yeah. So, Saints fans suing the NFL. Michael Thomas is petitioning for – he's appealing the results of the game, though, right? Or he tweeted something about it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm making that too much out of that. But they're just – I mean – I get crying about it. And I also get crying, although also, I'm sorry, I do get crying about it more given the fact that the NFL is not even going to say, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're not even going to do
We're
BP, dude.
sorry.
They're not even going to do BP after the Gulf oil spill. Just say sorry at least. It's the easiest thing.
We're sorry.
We're sorry. We should have called it. They missed it.
Sorry, son.
Sorry. Seriously. Well, public to Saints fans. Yeah, that's kind of bogus because that was, I mean, frankly, unbelievable. I just can't think of. It's hard to think of any other call so obvious that wasn't made.
Yeah.
Like such a cut and dried, like, yes, that is a flag. Yes, everyone saw it. And then no flags. It's like
Even the defender thought it was a flag.
he was like laughing on the sideline after he hit him. He was like, ugh, like making some kind of face.
And then explicitly stated
Oh,
afterwards.
after the game, he said he what blasted his ass. What did he say? Whatever. He smacked him, and he admitted as much. Hell yeah, it was pass interference. I smacked him, something like that. Very close to that, as a matter of fact. Yeah. That was a very fun game as well. That NFC game.
Yep.
Good weekend of football, Jeremy.
Yep.
We had a good one. One more left
Yep.
for the long sleep.
Yep. I will be done with college before there's like another sporting event I care about.
Oh yeah, huh? Because there's no like NBA finals even until.
And I don't even like really care about that.
True.
I won't even be here when the Mariners games start.
Ugh, that's what you list over the NBA finals.
Well, it's earlier.
I guess, yeah. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, if your metric for games you care about is meaningful Mariners games or the Seahawks, then I'll be done with college by the time another game you care about rolls around.
You won't be done by next fall.
I know.
Cry.
I will be, except for an internship at
Hire
publications or broadcasters
Hire Walker.
who I may have emailed. And that may be why you have become our 27th viewer on this week's Throwing for the One. And, yeah, hire me. I gotta stop doing that. I don't know why I'm clicking my mouth today. But mine makes a clip every time.
Some nice beard rubbing for the people.
I know.
You want to talk about how Jules touched it? That's nice.
Oh.
I feel like I'm watching ASMR videos. You just gotta eat a pickle.
Okay. I actually don't. He didn't. You convinced me, as a matter of fact, that he didn't.
He touched it.
No, I don't think he did. It was dumb that he went for it. Yeah, the Patriots. I don't want to start with that, Jeremy. There's a whole lot to get to in this game.
Walker brought out the list.
Well,
He was taking many frantic and scrambling notes.
I don't know. It was a
Walker was on the verge of tears many times.
It was quite a frustrating game for me. A lot of my notes are illegible / don't really mean anything to me because they're just like angry. Yeah.
Jules!
But I mean I look at it and what was the like Kansas City's yardage in the first half? They finished with 32 yards. Like if that's not an opportunity for the Patriots to, which by the way, they barely scored in the first half of the first meeting this year either. So like in 2 second halves this year, they scored like 70 points or whatever it is against the Patriots, which is terrifying, which is how I felt the whole game. Because that was every time the Patriots would make a mistake and not build a lead, which that was the frustrating thing, was there was so many opportunities I felt for them to like get a multiple score lead, which against Kansas City, the whole game I was saying, one play, and then they made like 3 or 4 one plays, and we have an overtime game in a game where you hold them to 30 yards in the first half. And I mean, so like some of the stuff, it's again, I don't really want to focus on the negative, but that's what I feel like there is to talk about, rather than just basking in their 9th Super Bowl. No, like, yeah, I mean, it is. I'm going to talk about some of that stuff next week a little more probably. It is like, it's crazy, man. I mean, this team, it's unbelievable. They just keep doing it,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry. I know it's tiresome for everybody. It's like almost tiresome for me. But in this game, I think they did a lot of the stuff, the unpatriotsy stuff that's been bugging me all year. Jules and Gronk both volleyball set an interception up a piece, and the Patriots get saved on Gronk's by D Ford with one of the worst times / dumbest plays in the history of NFL postseason, lining up in the neutral zone.
That's poor.
Just don't line up in the neutral zone then, dude. If you want to do it in the first half when you guys have 32 yards, then don't. But okay. But if you want, don't, man. He saved the Patriots. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
It was pretty much literally over.
what if they didn't call it?
Yeah.
Because that goes uncalled a lot, actually. A lot of guys line up in the neutral zone. He was in the neutral. I mean,
Yeah.
he was in the
half
neutral.
of his forearm was in the neutral
Yeah, he
zone.
was in the neutral zone. So, but anyway,
The Patriots were also in an illegal formation on that play, which doesn't
What?
really change anything. It just would have offset, so you wouldn't have got 5 yards, I guess.
But how so?
The left tackle, Brown, was too far off the line.
That literally never gets called. The tackles, those guys, if their head is even with any body part of the guards, they don't call that pretty much.
It's supposed to be the belt line walk.
Yeah, I know what it is, but I want to go back and look, because I'm curious if they did miss that, but anyway, one of my big takeaways from the game is the continued unpatriot-like behavior, the Gronk and Jules setups, Brady's pick in the first half, which was
Big Ben,
yeah, exactly. I mean, he was it's just, I mean, he potatoed. He fully potatoed. He threw. Gronk was the only receiver on the play, and there was 6 dudes in coverage. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't there. It was never there. I mean, maybe so when Gronk stood up and no one had dropped back into the end zone yet, I felt like it was going to be there, the Madden player in me, but I trust Tom Brady to realize that someone's going to drop back. And then 6 people dropped back. So on the play, I was like, "Oh, Gronk, go. No, Gronk." And then
and the underneath guy intercepted it too. And he wasn't even the guy running with Gronk.
So right, the decision was bad. The throw was worse. I mean, he threw it. 3 different people could have picked it off, depending on who grabbed it on that play. I think literally 2, probably not actually 3. But anyway, the Kansas City had negative yardage in the first quarter. Is that right? I think that's right.
It was close.
I think they did. I thought I almost said it. I thought it was a dash on my notes here, but I think it's negative 11 yards in the first quarter for Kansas City. I mean, the Patriots. What do you remember the halftime score?
14-0.
Yeah, so 2 touchdown lead, but you look at the Brady pick, you look at there was other mistakes in the first half. I really, I still need to watch that game again and really digest it, because that was an emotional whirlwind for me on Sunday. I think actually, I don't know. I don't know that the Patriots were bad in the first half. Really notable, not even bad, but I just think Kansas City definitely let them but gave them the whole first half to build a lead, and all they managed to do was 14 points, which very, very nearly was not enough of a buffer. Yeah, and then the second half, I do have nitpicks with some of the like second half and later in the game, and it's mostly as usual, like really little, like Rex Burkhead in short yardage. I don't like Sony Michel in short yardage either, and I know they can't run James White every time. Sneak. They didn't sneak, did they? They didn't sneak ever. They had was it 2 or 3? I can think of 2, but I feel like there might be another opportunity where I thought they probably should have done it.
Yeah.
And then if they don't get the look, then hand it to Devlin or something. Like, don't have Rex Burkhead happy feet start jumping sideways / trying to dive from 5 yards behind the line like he's Ezekiel Elliott or Saquon or something.
Sexy Rexy, dude.
And I mean the Edelman muffed or not punt, I don't think muffed. The attempted muffed punt by Julian Edelman, I'll say. Dumb. What's his face? Crossan, I don't even remember his first name, out there taking penalties and being left alone. I don't know. A lot of my frustration, I also think, was just kind of building over the course of both of the games, which I thought were like, sloppy isn't the right word for either game. I felt like there was this out of control feeling to both of them, partly because I felt like the refs, like, you just had no idea. I mean, the Patriots, the D Ford thing, which was a good call, the Brady brushed face mask roughing, which was a bad call. Like, in that game, that game and the Saints game, it's just I felt like you never knew. It's like any play, they might just get bailed out. Any play, they might throw a touchdown, it might get called back. It's just like, I felt like on Sunday I just had to accept my fate by the end of it.
That's always what it is as a non-participant.
Well,
I feel like most of the time I really have an impact on the game, and I just wasn't feeling that.
Do you not?
Week.
I mean, obviously not literally, Jeremy, but I mean, like, on Sunday I felt more helpless, is what I mean to say. Like, not even, and like, helpless doesn't even capture necessarily what I'm trying to say. I really just felt like those games, anything could happen on any play, and which is, again, also always the case, technically speaking. But I mean, it was like anything could happen. Like, a guy could get murder smashed on a potential touchdown ball, and no PI is going to go up. Yeah, I mean, I've heard complaining and seen memes complaining like the refs were on the Patriots side. It was just bad, inconsistent refereeing all Sunday, both games. No one got the all LA referees not calling the Rams. That's a little fishy, Jeremy. But in general, I just think it was bad, just bad reffing. A lot of replay.
The Saints got a lot of calls, too.
Yeah, exactly. It was bad reffing both ways in both games. How long was the fourth quarter of that Patriots-Chiefs game?
A while.
It was longer for me because I was in agony from, like, literally chest pain for most of it. But I felt like that thing took forever. I mean, it was really going forward from the Edelman muff and just things. Oh. I mean, the Gronk pick was. I just was like, when the flag went down, I was like, no, it's a hold. It has to be a hold. It's over. This is how it ends. And I just
should have been Gronk's
final play, dude, would have been volleyball setting it. I can't bear to think of it. Sony Michel was on the field for 34 plays and had 29 rushes. I'm pretty sure it was. So that's when Michelle and Devlin are on the field, watch out, Los Angeles. What is with the clicking today?
Did you take your pills?
No.
You didn't take your meds, so that would be the issue.
I don't follow. Steven Gostkowski hit all his kicks.
Yep. Still no Greg the legs or
No, Kansas City was Andy Reid, to say, not bad.
Yeah.
Not great, not bad.
He did waste one timeout on a not great challenge.
He did waste one timeout on a not great challenge, and he did sit on all his timeouts in overtime as his team got run all the way down the field, basically. Would be my two criticisms of him. And then they also did get a free timeout from the play clock is correct incident.
Walker was very angry.
Dude, it's... So my two...
And the fake punt.
The fake punt thing made me mad too. I was just going to say. Those are two of my big things with the refs in this game, which to me are two plays which I look at as sneaky, like just bad refereeing examples that like prove that this was just a neutrally poorly reffed game. Because the fake fourth down attempt by the Patriots, and then they do their stunt where they run the punt team on late, and yes, Kansas City gets a chance to sub. The umpire stood over the ball until like 5 seconds after the delay of game, which you can say then, so they just don't get a chance to sub because the Patriots sub late. They literally had run multiple waves of, like, it was guys ran off the field, guys ran on the field, guys ran off the field, guys ran on the field, and then they had 14 guys on the field. Like, they were not even close. It wasn't about and the ref just stood there and waited. And then afterwards, remember, they came out for the next one, and the umpire's like still standing in the backfield after they finally get this sorted like whatever it was. Oh my God. And then late in the game, Kansas City gets a free timeout when what was the penalty? Pass interference? What was the penalty on that? What was the roughing when they went into the knee?
Yeah, maybe.
Or a false start?
No.
Or
I don't know.
Encroachment. Anyway, the Patriots took the penalty and late in the game. Was it Kansas City's last drive? I think so, yeah.
Because that was the 30-second one. Remember, they got the ball back with like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
It might have been the one before that.
Their second to last drive, then they get a free timeout by the referees getting, I guess, confused about the stopping the clock which, the thing is, they did it right. I was mad too and confused, but I'm not a full-time NFL ref, and I was an emotionally caught up Patriots fan. So they get caught up in the moment and need to stop and have a chat for like 3 minutes.
The game clock is correct.
So let's get this straight. It's a penalty, so we stop the clock. And then, and so we stop the clock at 16 seconds. Okay, and then, or whatever, minute 16, whatever it was. And then, what is to discuss? They literally, it was a timeout's worth of time. And then they come out with the play clock is correct, which, by the way, that happened once else in the game. So come on, guys. They're all-star crews. And both of them.
Maybe that's the problem.
I know. I was just thinking maybe they need chemistry.
Just don't let Walt Anderson's crew in.
Yeah, you just need the best of the non-all-star crews. Oh, I just lost it. Dang it.
Eric Berry can't cover Gronk.
No, not without uncalled pass interferences. That's for sure. Again, another example. Bad reffing both ways. No, Eric Berry cannot cover Gronk. Kansas City did not cover Jules and James White on a lot of third downs. That's another crucial thing worth mentioning. The Patriots
fired Bob Sutton today.
Well, the third down thing is like, I think the Patriots went 15 of 19 on third down or something like that. It's like, it's almost hard to lose if you do that well on third down. The possession number is crazy. And the possession, if you look at their 2 games this year, the Patriots won by like aggregate 9 points or whatever it is, and they had like literally, I mean, it's way over a 2-1 possession advantage, I think. I'm pretty sure Kansas City had the ball for like 20 minutes in the game on Sunday.
Yeah, that's 2-1 though.
I know. What? That's what I said.
You said it was like way over 2-1.
Well, I think they had it for less in the first one. Might not be. It might have been 20 and 22 or something. I don't know. I should write these stats down when I see them, obviously. But the point is that the Patriots, vastly outpossessed them. Large part of that is third down. I would say the 2 factors in that are third down and the offensive line / running game. Yeah. I want to save like all of the Super Bowl stuff for next week.
Probably the right call.
Yeah, because I don't want to talk about the Pro Bowl that much. We're just crossing the 60-minute threshold. I don't know. I think it's a good place. Good place to wrap it on up here, Jeremy. Got anything else for the good of the order? Okay. Like us on Facebook at Throwing From the One.
Cut. Traded and cut.
Oh, yeah. I meant to mention that earlier. Mello got traded and cut at the same time. Mello, what a joke. He's a joke on our show. Our show is Throwing From the One. This is episode 29. Thanks for watching / listening, whatever you do. Like us on Facebook at Throwing From the One. Subscribe on YouTube, Throwing From the One Podcast.
Listen on Shout Engine.
Listen on Shout Engine to the old episodes. We used to get in arguments. I used to get in arguments with Brady. We were angry. PartyCast on forever. Thank you.
We did used to get You need Brady for some combative talk. That's the problem neither of us has.